Tenet is the latest blockbuster film by Christopher Nolan. It's kind of been marketed as the film to save cinema, and because of COVID, there's a lot of pressure and a lot at stake for theaters, according to some reports. Warner Brothers spent at least $200 million on the project, and a financial loss would really hurt the industry in general, so there's a lot riding on it. Unfortunately, the film just falls flat. There are so many things wrong with it, and I'll go into specifics in a little bit, but first I want to say that if you're a Nolan fan, you're probably going to end up liking it. If you're not a fanatic, then it's going to be pretty divisive. As for Rotten Tomatoes, I just want to point out how pathetic it is when we have professional critics, the same ones who bowed to the awful Disney Star Wars sequels and the Ghostbusters remake and other films, giving Tenet a positive review merely because it's fun or a popcorn flick, even though in their own reviews they admit that it's pretty messy or incoherent. I mean, some of the critics even admit that they don't even understand the film and that the film has nothing to say, but they liked it anyway out of obedience. They're just shills and they don't want to offend the majority. It's as simple as that. Gullible consumers who dare to not question Nolan will shill this film or praise him out of obedience because the film has been hyped up as a special event. They all want to be part of this experience, and nobody wants to be the black sheep. The film is similar to Inception and a few other of his films. Nolan likes to mix sci-fi elements with trippy, for lack of a better word, trippy ideas, and his adolescent consumer base mistake these shallow ideas for something it's not. It's not thought-challenging at all. It's just surface-level material. If you want something more thought-provoking, then people should go and watch 2001: A Space Odyssey. Or check out The Seventh Seal by Bergman. Hell, Spielberg's underrated AI, artificial intelligence, is often scoffed at, but it says so much more than Tenet. It's a very sad but beautiful film. All three of these films really are much better. Spielberg, Bergman, and Kubrick all have a cinematic eye, and in these films they really tackle some heavy themes. Anyway, back to the film. The dialogue in Tenet is really, really awful. It's so bad that even Robert Pattinson, who's an amazing actor, has a tough time delivering these lines in a convincing manner. It's very robotic and lifeless, and there's so much exposition in the film. It's like the purpose of each conversation is to just explain the plot. I know this is a common complaint among most of his fans, or even viewers in general, regarding his films, but this has to be the worst dialogue and the most exposition to ever be featured in a Nolan film. I'm telling you right now, it's very, very noticeable. As for the story, it's a complete mess. Nolan wants to be clever and subversive and keep the audience guessing like some of his previous films like Memento and Insomnia and The Prestige, but he should just create something more soulful and honest, a smaller film about the human experience. The sound mixing in the film is poorly mixed too. It's so loud during unnecessary parts of it, and at times it makes it hard to even hear the dialogue. It's very annoying and distracting, and it's like Inception, but times 10. The whole film is convoluted with its time gimmick. It's clumsy and noisy, and there's no character depth. There's nothing thought-provoking or challenging to offer, and it's not worth your time unless you want to be mindlessly entertained for a bit and you're able to stomach a pretty noisy, standard Nolan film. It's a 4 out of 10 at best.